Peter Gray from the AU Review in Australia. Hello, Alison.
Hi, Peter.
I'm going to say there have been obviously a lot of philosophical lines that we get from films, and I think I wasn't there to make friends. I was there to make flaw, and just might be one of the new ones to go with us.
Words to live by.
I think so. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Desert Island would kind of watch that. So,
I'm glad that you say that. I would watch it too. Absolutely. It comes from a real place of love.
and then Des Hurt Locker, even better. Like, yeah,
You're in for that one as well?
I'm in for that one as well. Yes.
Yes. Great. We could keep spinning them off. I mean, I have a whole napkin. What about foods you would fuck? Foods you could fuck.
Well, that changes everything
That's
now. So,
taking it a little far.
I mean, I think that would probably be the show I would choose over everything else because I'm yeah,
We just
bit
thought we would
dirty.
get if we could get Jason Biggs to recreate like an American Pie situation. Like
With
Jason Biggs hosting Foods You Could Fuck is like pretty golden.
where like all he does is just fuck pies. I'm like that would work.
Different flavors of pie.
Yeah. Well, I guess onto more serious things because I actually have an interview.
Fine.
I was gonna say like those discussions around like the absurdity of shows and like the cancellations and with all those executives, like have they were they born from like personal experience when you were writing this film?
Uh, well, I mean, let's see. On the timeline of our lives, I guess that Glow was canceled while we were
Mhm.
writing this movie. So, sure, I guess they're probably, I hope that it doesn't come across as too inside baseball as we're having like, the third season of a show, but it's not just specific to Glow. I've worked in television for a long time, and I've also kind of witnessed this shift from when I worked in network TV on Community to working on the streamers, like on Netflix with Glow, and how um it's different. Like the way that people consume content now is different, and the way that shows are made it's different. So like the shelf life of a show these days is shorter, right? And people love a limited series, and a lot of shows don't go beyond 3 seasons because I don't know, the networks maybe don't feel like audiences have the attention span, or that they're not going to really continue to make money after 3 seasons of a show. Are new viewers subscribing to services to watch it, right? These are the newer questions that are being asked versus a network show where you're looking at numbers and you're trying to do as many seasons as possible to get that residual money, and all of that kind of stuff. It just has shifted. So I think we were partially also analyzing that and our experiences within that shift.
Yeah, I was gonna say like because like kids today they won't understand what it was like to wait week to week to know what has going to happen with Ross and Rachel. They
It's
don't know.
true.
They don't know that struggle. So it's like you get
I
it everything handed to
The
you. So yeah,
cliffhanger is lost, although I think it's coming back around. I mean, we all are on the edge of our seats, watching White Lotus and things like that.
yes,
So I kind of think
yeah,
I like the space we've landed where there's both. There's like the
yeah.
shows you get to binge, and then there's the other shows that make you wait, and you have a little bit of both.
Yeah. I'm gonna pivot to something probably much more emotional after all of that. But I was talking to Kiersey before and I said how I just love how natural queer representation is becoming. Like the characters in this film, it doesn't feel like you're just checking a box for the sake of checking a box. So I mean, I have to thank you for that as a gay man who is starting to see representation be extremely natural, like where
Yeah.
we're allowed to be assholes. Gay people aren't always going to be like the best people. So I like that
Right.
that's what's being brought across. And I was wondering, like, was that something that's I guess that you're thinking of when writing these scripts? Because Kiersey was saying that it was already there when the script came.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate hearing this feedback, and it means a lot to me. Yes, it was very intentional, certainly,
Mm,
with that character and with all of the characters. We wanted every character in the movie to have a rich and complex emotional history and backstory from top to bottom, even if
mm,
it's Haley Joel Osment's character who seems like he's the comic relief. Actually, this is a character with a full life who has two kids, who wants the same for his brother, who prioritizes
mm,
family, like small details for all the characters to fill out their backstory, yeah, and emotional life. And with Cassidy, I think a big part of the intentionality with her queerness was exactly what you're saying, where we were just like, and also she's queer, and that's not her entire identity. That's just
yeah.
one facet to who she is, and it's also not the entire plot of this movie, like, and it's the same with Sean's adoption story and his
Mm,
history with that. That doesn't encapsulate everything about Sean, but it does inform a lot of the decisions that he makes, and sort of like some of his emotional baggage. And Cassidy as a character really represents a person who is comfortable in their own skin, who loves who they are, who is unashamed of who they are.
mm.
And the fact that she's queer is just a part of her, just one part of her personality and her identity.
Yes, no, it's yeah, it really is amazing to see it and be sort of just yeah represented in this very natural way. And I also said that the delivery of this bitch as a line from her and from you as well was just like, oh, like just you're giving me nuggets all throughout this movie. I love it. It's great.
Thank you.
And obviously, I mean, from my perspective, like comedy is something that comes very naturally to you. And I'm wondering, did that start somewhere in particular? Did you always know that comedy was somewhere where you wanted to explore? And was there anybody that you looked up to as a inspiration?
Oh, wow. Probably just so many people. It
Yeah,
took me a while to sort of connect the dots between my sense of humor in my personal life and working in comedy.
yeah.
Prior to Community, which seems, so early in my career, but when I think about like acting in college, I didn't think like I'm the comedy gal, which is strange to me because I think with my friends, I've always had like a really silly sense of humor, and I love joking around with the people in my life, and I love making people laugh and doing impressions and doing all of this stuff. And then would take the work really seriously. A lot of my early auditions were just always for very dramatic roles. And I was like, I wasn't trying to connect the two. But also I was just auditioning for any different type of show. So it was sort of coincidental to me that I ended up on Community. And then I started to watch all of these other great comedic actors on that show, everybody coming
Mm,
at it from a different place of their personal comedic sensibilities. And I think it also brought out my own nature, also because I got along so well. We had such great chemistry, the Community cast. Obviously, Danny Pudi's in this movie. We wrote that role for him. We really capitalize off of the chemistry and history that he and I have. So I think working on Community, I really got to tap into my personal sense of humor and have just continued to capitalize on that across the board. But I still don't really think about a difference when I'm working in comedy or drama. So a lot of the actors who have inspired me in the comedic space, are the same ones that inspire me in the dramatic space. Like Annette Bening, one of my favorite movies of all time is The American President that she stars in with Michael Douglas. And that's like a romantic comedy. It's a timeless classic to
yeah.
me. Um, and she does such an amazing performance, but there are all these great little comedic beats, but they're so grounded in who that character is. I even think of like Frances McDormand, who is obviously the most incredible dramatic actress, but even in like a very dark comedy like Fargo,
Mm,
there's a lot of comedic gold that she's spinning. I mean, look at Raising Arizona. I love Holly Hunter. That's another one. It's like all of these actors who to me, they just do both. And then, of course, I mean, we were just rewatching 9 to 5, and everybody in that cast is just hilarious and perfect.
Well, you definitely comedy's gonna do all right for you, I think. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for taking the time out. I'm also just gonna say, Scream 4, you are so amazing in that movie.
Thank
So just,
you.
no, but just thank you so much for taking the time out and for this film. It's really, really beautiful. So thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. I appreciate these thoughtful questions. That was really fun.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Cheers.